Straight ahead on 12 News, what will Brooklyn Park look like in 10 years? What local residents had to say. Then, remembering cancer survivors and its victims.
Take the first lap around the track at the close of that, and then we hope to have the teams on the track until we're done.
An event meant to tug at your heart. But first, grocery competition translates into a benefit for consumers.
I think it's good for the community, it's good for families.
12 News starts right now. Hello everyone, with Hy-Vee now on the scene in Brooklyn Park, what is the impact on customers and existing stores like Cub Foods?
Eric Nelson takes a look at the new competition.
It's an Iowa-Minnesota border battle, except this isn't the Hawkeyes and Gophers playing for a bronze pig. This is Iowa-based Hy-Vee taking on Minnesota-born and raised Cub Foods, competing for supermarket loyalty in Brooklyn Park. The winner could be area shoppers.
It would 100% be good for the consumer. Competition's always good, you know. We're not afraid of competing against anybody.
Hy-Vee is the new kid on the block in BP.
Everybody likes choices.
Located just across the 610 freeway from Cub.
We're very excited. I mean, each store that we open in the Twin Cities is a new venture for us.
After plenty of hype, Hy-Vee opened this week and had a steady stream of business.
Well, the goal of Hy-Vee is just to basically win over one city at a time. So right now when we're in Brooklyn Park, we just want to get to know the community of Brooklyn Park and let them know Hy-Vee.
Cub officials declined an interview today, but spokesman Jeff Swanson said via email that Cub is, quote, focused on bringing value to our customers, which means we deliver a great in-store offering.
Frankly, I'll probably stick with Cub most of the time.
Some Northwest Metro residents have an allegiance to Cub, which has been in Minnesota for 48 years.
I'm used to them. I know where to find things in there and have a certain brand loyalty.
The Hy-Vee template is simple. They are a one-stop shop with something for everyone.
We want to cater to the customer who, really has that higher level of culinary expertise, and we also want to cater to those that are on a budget and that are looking for value.
If week one of this supermarket showdown is any indication, then yes, the shoppers will benefit. Both Cub and Hy-Vee were offering a lot of discounts through promotions and coupons. Clipping coupons at both stores definitely equated into big savings.
I think that the more things you can offer to a customer at a better price is a good thing. I think it's good for the community, it's good for families.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
In the next 10 years, could Brooklyn Park become a destination city that draws visitors from across the Twin Cities metro? That's one of the visions that came out of a survey of nearly 1,000 residents.
There was reflection that Brooklyn Park currently is not really known for any specific, I would say, attraction.
Brooklyn Park is already home to more than 1,700 acres of parkland, but residents have expressed interest in building things such as an event center or a community pool. City leaders hope this list will help shape the strategic plan for Brooklyn Park over the next decade. In addition to the park amenities, residents said they wanted more job opportunities in the city, better transportation, more diverse leadership at City Hall, and housing for all socioeconomic groups.
Our hope is that we will see some movement on these particular areas that the residents would like to see improvement in.
The city plans to put together a steering committee to help them narrow down specific goals.
Robbinsdale police have arrested 2 juveniles suspected of stealing items from parked vehicles. They had 4 reports of items stolen from vehicles in the past week. The young suspects were arrested near the 4100 block of Regent Avenue early Friday morning. The juveniles were reportedly carrying property believed to have been stolen from the vehicles. Investigators hope to return the stolen items to their owners, so they encourage victims to report the incident and attempt to identify stolen property.
A man who pleaded guilty to federal charges has been sentenced to 33 months in prison for using credit card machines to steal tens of thousands of dollars from local businesses. 24-year-old Daniel Walker was sentenced Thursday, and according to the criminal complaint, he took part in a conspiracy that led to a loss of $215,000 from a Brooklyn Park bowling alley along with other businesses. Prosecutors say Walker and several others would steal credit card machines from businesses and then use them to process fraudulent refunds. Court documents say they did that 275 times. In addition to the prison time, Walker was sentenced to pay $215,000 in restitution.
The latest numbers from builders continue to point to Plymouth as one of the top cities for building activity in the metro. Plymouth is second on the list behind Woodbury with 87 housing permits so far this year. A recent study shows Twin Cities construction is picking up, but at a slow pace. New single-family homes under construction climbed 2% in June compared to last year. One reason for the continued growth is a tight resale market. In Brooklyn Center, volunteers are preparing to raise money to fight cancer. The annual Relay for Life of Northern Hennepin County will kick off Friday night at Brooklyn Center High School.
And as Shannon Slatton explains, volunteers have a special place in their heart for one part of the ceremony.
Today we're having the Relay for Life of Northern Hennepin County.
Volunteers have a lighthearted and purposeful mood while setting up for an event they hope will attract dozens and raise more than $40,000.
Most of the money that we make actually goes to patients and research.
Sharon Vandenbos is this year's walk chair, and she's been involved every year since the first relay in Brooklyn Center 21 years ago. Like most volunteers, she has a few reasons why.
I lost two very special friends, and my brother and his wife. So we all do. Like I said, when you walk around here and you see the names, people lose it.
The event has many parts, like a silent auction and survivors dinner.
The luminary ceremony it's meant to tug at people's hearts.
But the luminary ceremony is what moves people the most.
We light them, the lights are off, and it's just this glow of lights. And we spell the word hope out in our football field area with luminaries also. It's very emotional.
Hope is why volunteers continue to give back and make this event one of inspiration and motivation.
Time for remembering.
In Brooklyn Center, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
The event runs from 6 p.m. until 10:30 on Friday night, and all funds raised go to the American Cancer Society.
A Brooklyn Park family with a daughter fighting cancer is reaching out to the public for help. You might remember Ashley Calhoun, who started fighting cancer at the age of 7. She is now about to turn 15. She still is getting treatments, but now her family faces losing their Brooklyn Park home due to foreclosure. Her father is asking for help or advice before the family is evicted.
I really need it. I need it now more than I ever have. I mean, with the stress and everything with money, bills has really taken its toll.
The family has a GoFundMe page and a PayPal account under Hope for Ashley. According to Jay, they need to come up with more than $100,000 in order to stay in their home. Coming up, why a local police officer was honored this week at Target Field.
And later in sports, a look ahead to this weekend's Frolics softball tournament in Crystal.
But first, it is your AccuWeather forecast.
A Robbinsdale police officer got an all-star shout-out at Target Field for the number of DWI arrests he made last year.
Robbinsdale Police is proud to call Officer Christopher Woodhall one of their own.
Christopher Woodhall was one of 40 law enforcement officers recognized for taking drunk drivers off the streets. Woodhall made 49 DW arrests in 2015. Now, the top all-star of the group was a trooper from the Minnesota State Patrol. He made 201 arrests. Last year, 95 people died in Minnesota from drunken driving related crashes.
A New Hope Care facility is celebrating a major milestone since it first opened its doors in 1966.
3, 2, 1.
The New Hope Mayor Kathy Hempkin and other community leaders joined to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Northridge, a senior care and rehabilitation facility. Much has changed since it first opened as a nursing home in 1966. Now there's senior apartments, assisted living, and therapeutic programs, and a big remodel project coming up.
We'll be updating our transitional care unit for a short-term stay, and then also our memory care unit, which serves a large part of our population here as well. So we're super excited. So what you see today is not necessarily what it'll look like in the next several months.
Northridge also employs nearly 600 people. Well, still ahead, the songs you remember from Beauty and the Beast weekend showcase is coming up.
But first, Champlin is among the first-round winners as the State American Legion Baseball Tournament gets underway. Jason Malillo is in next with sports.
Welcome back. Beautiful weather greeted ball players and fans today as play got underway in the 91st Minnesota American Legion Baseball Tournament. Champlin Post 600 met Eastview in a first-round game at Maple Lake. No score in the top of the second inning when Champlin's Joey Simon grounds to short. The ball's bobbled. Eastview gets the out at first, but Zach Lovin scores the first run of the game for Champlin. Champlin pitcher Cole Albers, I don't think he plans this, but it works out good. He takes a hard grounder off the foot, deflects right to second base, and the Rebels turn a 4-6-3 double play to end the Eastview second. Top of the third, Eric Pearson singles the other way to right field, and Aaron Klepner will score the first of his 3 runs in the game, and Champlin leads it 2-0. Same score in the 5th inning, and this time it's Jeff Wheelage with the run-scoring hit as his single to left plates Klepner with another Champlin run. And the Rebels put it away in the 8th inning. Eric Pearson goes the other way and finds the gap in right center field. Champlin scores 3 runs in the 8th. And 3 Rebel pitchers combine on a shutout as Champlin rolls to a 7-0 win. Friday afternoon, defending state champion Wayzata met Fairmont, and Wayzata wins in a rout 16-1. Wayzata pounded out 23 hits in the win, and Brendan Brody went the 9-inning distance. Maple Grove played host Delano in the first round, and Grove wins 9-0. 4 players scored 2 runs each for Grove, and Nathan Martinson threw a shutout. The quarterfinals are Friday evening, with the double elimination tournament continuing through Monday. 2 all-star games and a home run hitting contest kicked off the fun at Crystal Frolics softball tournament Thursday night. John Jacobson caught up with tournament director Jim Whita earlier this week to ask about this weekend's games.
We have 76 teams this year, 8 in the co-ed, 20 in the men's open gold division, and 48 in the men's silver D division. We're up in the gold division this year as opposed to last year because of combination of the USSSA having Minnesota Conference, which is 15 teams that play a series of tournaments throughout the year, and also the MRPA and Troy Mickelson having teams move up from the D division into the C division for a more competitive balance of games.
As always, though, you have the most of your teams in the D division, which will bring a lot of local flavor too. A lot of teams that either play here on a regular basis, or maybe guys that grew up in the area that like to play in the Frolics, right?
Without a doubt, we have Minnesota Wolfpack, who won Duck Duck a couple of weeks ago. Jeb Drywall, the Mix, Smoke softball. They're from Colorado. They're coming up here for the 3rd year. Dean Brothers, Reckless softball. Very, very myriad of teams that know how to play the game, and it's going to be a very interesting bracket in the silver division because it's wide open this year.
The fields here, the 2 main fields are at Becker here, but you use a lot of other fields in the area too, don't you?
We use 9 fields, 2 here, 2 over in Brooklyn Center, 3 over at Welcome, 1 at Bassett Creek, and 1 at Lions Valley Place. 90% of the games will be played in Crystal.
And championship games are scheduled for Sunday at Becker Park. The use of high-speed reels can be a big catch for local anglers, and Terry Tuma explains in this week's Channel 12 fishing tip.
So often a question is asked, high-speed reels, does it pay? Is something that we should use? Should we have it in our arsenal? The answer to that question is definitely yes. I've worked a lot with high-speed reels, the 8-to-1 versus maybe a 6-to-1 or a 7-to-1, whatever that ratio may be. And it's not just what we think it's for burning baits back. That is by no means the main reason I feel that it's going to be of such a plus. The biggest plus, however, is that when you're casting out and then you get out of that strike zone where those fish are, then you reel in as quick as you possibly can, and therefore you can cast out again. So basically what it is, you have that bait or that lure in the water much more than with a slower reel. Does it make that much of a difference? Absolutely. Just try some experimentation once and see how much of a difference it's going to make bringing that not only the fish in, that is not the case here, but it's bringing that lure back into the boat so you can recast quickly again. It does pay. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes.
Thank you, Terry. That's sports.
Okay, thanks, Jason. We'll be right back. 2 nights of fireworks are on tap in Crystal as the annual Crystal Frolics continues this weekend at Becker Park. On Saturday, firefighters will turn on their hoses for a game of Firefighters Water Ball. That starts at 1 o'clock. The carnival runs until 9:30 at night. And on Saturday, fireworks start at 10 o'clock. Then on Sunday, it is a family festival at 1 o'clock with a walk-in petting zoo and a kids scavenger hunt. Well, and finally, it has played in 13 countries to more than 35 million people worldwide.
Well, this is the final weekend to catch a local theater company's take on a modern-day Disney favorite. Neil Persley has more in our weekend showcase.
Jessica Arend is superbly cast as Belle in Cross Community Players' presentation of Beauty and the Beast.
This production in particular obviously is a community theater production, but it's one that we tried to put a little bit of a different spin on it.
We're doing our best to really bring the warmth and the familiarity of the Disney story, but bring our own Cross Community Players flair.
So Belle, what'll it be? Is it yes or oh? Yes.
I think Gaston is actually the scariest character, in my opinion.
The blustery Gaston always brings smiles as his incredibly gigantic ego barely leaves any room on stage for the other characters, or even the audience for that matter.
What? You must control your temper.
Jared Mogan plays a convincing Beast.
As he's kind of softened up by Belle throughout the show, you see happiness and you see kindness and you see kind of a youthful energy that the Beast has.
If you do not come down to dinner, I will drag you by the hair.
Jessica contrasted the positive message of the play against some of the ugliness we see in the world today.
Being a part of this production, I have found a sense of hope and almost a source of healing in being part of such a redemptive story. And I'm really excited to share this story with other people because I think there is not a more timely message.
This is the perfect family production for all ages. For a weekend showcase, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
Wow, that looks like fun. Non-perishable food donations are being accepted at the door to benefit the Cross Food Shelf. Beauty and the Beast will run through this Sunday at Maple Grove Middle School. Showtimes are 7:30 Friday and Saturday with a 3 p.m. matinee on Sunday. So go and bring someone.
Yes, looks like a great casting, good choreography as well.
That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again Monday starting at 4. Have a great weekend.